Hi again, Kirby here from Grace Counseling Center, and for today, I'll be answering questions and discussing issues about the counseling session pertaining to the length and the duration. When we say the length and the duration of counseling sessions, it's all about how long will each session be, how often will each session occur, which is the frequency, right? Is it once a week, whether it's twice a week? And of course, how many sessions, which is the overall length of the counseling relationship. I'm going to upload this video. Hopefully, you'll be seeing it in our first timers section because I want to make people feel comfortable who are easing their way into counseling, into a big decision in their lives to enter counseling. So we know it's a big, big, big decision to enter counseling. You probably been mulling about this for a year, and thank God you've seen our website and thus this video. So I want to be as transparent as possible because our business, our working philosophy is simply I aim for a win-win-win situation. So we want our clients as happy and satisfied as possible. And at the same time, as a business unit, we need to sustain, right? So we don't want there's nothing hidden fees, hidden tricks, or what have yous. You want to go to the burger store knowing what burger that you will get and how much will it be, right? So it's a fair exchange. So in this case, a very, very good, valuable, a righteous question would be eventually how much will counseling take, right? And when you ask the word how much will counseling take, you have to answer the question how long will it be, how many sessions will it take, because the counseling itself is charged per session. And just for transparencies, once again, most counselors that you will be meeting in your life will be paid per session. Yeah, we work by the hour, so to speak. So you can expect each counseling session to last for 1 hour. Now the question there would be how many sessions, right? So brief therapies will cost around 6 sessions, sometimes 12 sessions. It depends on several factors. Let me clarify first. And the next one we have is the duration. Each session is, some counselors will provide 50 minutes, some will take to 90 minutes, depending on the session. And how long will the relationship be? Is it a 12-month relationship, a 6-month relationship? First, let's talk about the factors. Then I will give you the models that we present. First question people ask, why does counseling take a long time? Why can I call this the dental model. When you go to a dentist, I have a toothache, I go there once, and there's a big chance that the toothache can be gone. I agree with this. I have a loose tooth. I visit the dentist in a matter of 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on the complications. I can get the tooth removed. Tack, in one session. Case closed, problem solved. I call it the dental model, and it's not healthy to use that onto the counseling models because the counseling models, I would pair it up analogously. I will pair it up with the education model, or I would even put it up with the dietary models, diet and education, which is about sowing and reaping. And I remember writing about this some time ago, where we actually cannot expect one session to change everything. When you talk about long term changes, it will take time for it to happen. Why? Because we are dealing with habits. And when you say habits, it's repetitive behavior close to being in a lifestyle, right? So the habits form the lifestyle, and the two go hand in hand. You cannot just skip a meal today and expect to lose weight by tomorrow. Of course, there's such a thing as drastic fasting, and it's not healthy. Now comparing counseling to dieting or gaining weight, losing weight or gaining weight, I keep telling people that the cycle of change, where it will dictate the length of observation, whether you improve or not, will take more than a month. The same goes for diet, gaining weight, losing weight. You cannot afford to measure your weight every day, expecting your weight to go to the positive direction that you want to. That will cause severe frustration. Yeah, you don't have to be a very patient person to do this. I suggest you measure your weight on a weekly basis or even on a monthly basis, and you will see the changes of dieting. So I skip meals. Say for example, for this month, I skip breakfast. I cannot expect my weight to change in 1 week. Same goes for a weight gain regime. I carry my weight, although I see my strength getting higher and higher and higher. That's just your memory, your muscle memories, remembering stuff. You will not gain weight or even gain muscles in a month's time, not even 2 months' time. You will see the changes in 3 months' time. The same goes for counseling. I would put the same comparison, the time frame. And for this reason, please do not expect, well, you can have insights for one session, especially the first session. I would say that the learning curve is a spike and it will just go on an upward trend, ideally in this level, not in a spiky level. Upward trend on a healthy, mountainous, let's see, skewed level, and you will slowly work your way to your counseling goals. And it will not happen in probably less than 6 months. And for this reason, please reserve time for counseling goals to occur, for changes that will lead to counseling to occur. Sorry for that, my phone's there. No cutting here, I don't have to edit. Secondly, I want to, what about the education setting? When you say counseling is about changes, it's not just about habitual changes, which are behavioral changes. I do agree that behavioral changes can happen overnight, the same way as dieting, right? I used to eat a lot, then suddenly I can choose cold turkey, stop eating, stop smoking. This one can happen. On the behavioral level, we have to admit and accept that in counseling, especially in Grace Counseling Center, my preaching here is that on the below the behavioral level or the physiological level will be the psychological changes, which is the psychological level, right? Psycho and mental level. Below that would be the spiritual level. Hence the term psycho-spiritual. We are not just here for behavioral changes. We want a whole attitudinal lifestyle change, which involves learning, tons of learning and relearning. When you say relearning, it's forgetting the old stuff and learning the new ones, which is an educational process. I keep showing this to my students in school also because I have to account for them on why I have to meet them for 15 weeks straight. Once a week. I teach a course somewhere. I cannot really mention here before I get fired again. It's usually the courses would take, when you say 1 credit or 1 unit of a course, it's 3 hours once a week, right? For 15 weeks, so to speak. So when you say 3 units of a course or 3 credits, it's confusing. But the common standard, the standard for a part-time education nowadays is 3 hours a week for 15 weeks. 3 hours a week for 10 weeks. It depends on the course that you're taking, but that's more or less on the diploma levels, right? A 15-week course. And you will notice that the total classroom hours would be around what? 30 to 50 hours. Some people would say, why can't we just take the entire course in a span of 1 week, cut things short, finish everything? So let me ask you this. If you cram everything in 1 week, all this information, how much will you retain? And how much will it consolidate down to your memory system? Enough to create a lifestyle change. Nothing. You will not retain anything. Probably you will retain a lot of stuff and it will consolidate after a year. That you will see the learning pop up in a year's time. Why is this? I have no choice but to invoke neuropsychological theories because it takes a long time for our neurons to change its connections. It takes a long time for our neurons to learn stuff because it will have to move its axons and its blah 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 and form new connections. Call it connectionism if you want to. But whatever the theory that you use for neuroscience, the brain moves, if it moves at all, the neurons, the nerves, the cells in your brain, in our brains, move very, very slowly. And for this reason, learning is a slow process. change of habits is a slow process. Same goes for counseling. It's a process that takes like one semester to learn a new theory, to implement, to encode a new theory. So moving forward, I realize it's 10 minutes down into the video. Factors would be for this one: the amount of learning, the speed of learning that the person will go through. This one will push the counseling sessions to more than one session. So give or take 6 sessions. Why 6 sessions? That, according to studies, that's more or less the average number of sessions where there's minimal changes that can be observed. No citations for this one. They call it brief therapy. So you do your research. Brief psychotherapy, brief CBT, brief whatever therapy, 6 sessions. Each session is how long? 60 minutes. Officially 60 minutes. There are some who will put it down to 50 minutes, 10 minutes for admin work, and goodbye. For Grace Counseling Center, minimum 6 minutes. 60, sorry. Minimum 60 minutes. No, nothing hiding there. 60 minutes minimum. And don't worry about filling up the forms and stuff. We will have time for this. So our philosophy in Grace Counseling Center is, if the objectives of the session are not reached, then we push on further. I'm not gonna cut down the session while the iron's hot, right? Simply because the clock rings, unless there's another session scheduled right after. And I just want to disclose to everyone to this one: our business practices, ethical practices is never to book back-to-back sessions. So there will be room for overtime, but we leave this to the counselor's discretion. So the counselor feels that it's time to hit the mark today. Please reserve more time than 1 hour for each session. There's no additional charge, please. Yeah. So I want to clarify for this. Pricing and affordability. Each session, it depends on the counselor. I'm putting up this video in 2025. Counselors will range from $150 per session, whether it's online or individual. $200 for psychologist. For the more clinical cases, I love more clinical cases. So I tell everyone there, you guys can ease up on the cases that you like. For the clinical cases that you don't feel comfortable with, DID, some psychotic cases, persistent depression and stuff, I love these cases, and it will take more time and more effort. So we have the $200 bracket, and we have the $150 per session. And that's how we calculate, right? Overall, how many sessions. So I want to first talk about frequency. How often will each counseling session occur? This one, simply one factor that I see for this one would be the intensity. If you're dealing with someone suicidal, for example, so imagine a slider bar from the very, very serious down to the not so serious case. What is a not so serious case? I'm thinking of switching jobs. Oh, it's still serious. It's still serious for the person. But when it comes to triage, when it comes to prioritizing clients according to risk levels, someone who's thinking of looking for a job will be less prioritized over someone who's about to jump over the building. The extreme suicidals. Normally, for ordinary cases, it's once a week. Because of economic reasons, we know it's very, very heavy. It's very painful for the pockets. Normal cases can range from once a week to twice a month. I usually recommend twice a month because of the learning process. Once a week, sometimes both the counselor and client will feel the rapid pace. It's like you again. I just saw you yesterday. It seems like yesterday, man. But it's been a week. What do we talk about? Not much updates, not much learning happened within a week. Then, hey, we go ahead to meeting you once every other week. However, if you're dealing with someone suicidal and the level of pain really spikes the moment they step out of the counseling center, the anxiety, the obsessive ideas just cram up in them. Sometimes I had clients that range from thrice a week. just to be transparent. So sometimes thrice a week, twice a week, once a week is very frequent, twice a week only for the serious cases. Now, if you go for thrice a week, I will more or less recommend hospitalization already. So the thrice a week is extremely rare, and that will only happen if there's no hospital to shift onto yet. So in Singapore, they can just go to IMH, emergent A&E, and just say, I want to kill myself. That's it. Game over. You're in there. So not my problem, man. uh, Having said that, we're here to care for you, right? So, but you can just see how impractical thrice a week will be, right? If you're seeing a $200 per session rate counselor or practitioner, what's 600 a week, man? Yeah, it's more than I make, man. That's for the frequencies. Next factor would be for economic reason and practicality reasons. Not many people can simply jump off work and jump away from their life and come to us once a week, once a week, once a week. So in this case, my guideline is if you come with us, you'll be expect, well, more or less in a regular session will be twice in a month's time. So my guideline for this one in the first part of the counseling relationship where we're still gathering data because we need to know who you are, we need to know the entire situation, it will be once a week. But once we enter the working stage where the therapy actually begins, the homework is all dumped to you, then more or less we can go down to twice a month or even once a month. I mentioned economic reasons a while ago. And I do understand this. It's really heavy, yeah. So with apologies, I have to say this, yeah. But we need to sustain. So for economic reasons, we can drop to once a month. Now this one will only happen after the data gathering stage. You can go down to once a month, just for a checkpoints. So we'll be giving you homework. Sometimes we'll communicate through emails. We'll communicate to WhatsApp. We open our WhatsApp channels for you to communicate if you're a client here. And we can meet once a month. So that is more doable for the pockets. Still painful though, yeah? So how many sessions will it take? So again, we always follow the inductive approach. Inductive approach meaning we see how, we play it by ear. Because why is this? Well, in the first place, client conditions, client status will change per session. Countless times, counselors will tell you, never believe the story of the first few sessions. The real issue will not come out yet. So many a times I will sign off on a session for example, a school will send me some of the students and say it's a school stress thing. They cannot study. So I'll say, okay, hey, send the kid in, man. Yeah, I love to chat with the younger generations, learn more about animes and stuff. So I'll learn about their school stress. And after the 13th session, the guy would start saying, I want to kill myself. So you see the problem there, right? The risk levels from being I cannot study, I don't want to study, to I want to kill myself will change a lot of the therapeutic goals. It will change a lot of the prognosis even. It will change the duration. It will change the frequencies. And normally, I encourage people to be as honest to the counselors, to trust your counselors, and to just tell them what it is, right? If you want a good estimation of how long will it take. Now, if you are an average case, I'll lay it all out. Average case, people ask me, you call Grace Counseling, you email us. My standard response is 6 sessions. I would say 6 sessions spanning in 3 months. That is very, very ordinary. Now, why 6 sessions? What can you expect by session 6? Not to reach your goals. By the 6 sessions, you will see positive changes towards that session. And more or less, the goal here is to equip you with your workout regime. You know what your workout programs, and you can stand on your own and paddle on your own to your own goals. So mind you, the goals set in counseling sessions, like for example, it's 12 sessions, 6 sessions. It's not realistic to expect that we reach the full goal. That you were depressed for session 1, after 6 sessions, You're no longer depressed. You're flourishing. That's very immature, even for 12 sessions, even for a year. I cannot promise this. What I can do promise is that after 6 sessions or 12 sessions, depending on the case, you can more or less stand on your own. You will have the tools. It's a learning journey. It's a learning habits, learning and habitual journey. You will change your habits and you will agree with it. If you don't agree with it, then we'll steer away and change for new habits. And this is what counseling is all about. We will alter the attitude that there is no God. God hates me. Okay, there is no God, or some people would say there is a God, but God hates me. To deep inside you, it's not doctrinal rote learning phase where we bring out the word and say this. It's not like that. It's an internal change. I would even say spiritual change, psycho-spiritual change to the psychological change, which will translate to your behaviors, translating to healthy habits, behaviors, which translates to your Christian lifestyle. The change will take time, and we're asking for once a week from the beginning, because there's a data gathering stage. We need to know who you are. Then we have the working stages. Then we have the check-up and the maintenance stages, which is more or less once a month. Now we have clients I have clients who check in once a month. Very, very common. They just want to click the save button in their lives, come back, say hi. And it ranges. I have to be honest to this one. For those among you doing research, here's some data. I do have clients who come once a year. They call it their own birthday gifts. I tell them it's an expensive birthday gift, which accomplishes pretty much nothing, but they would say it's a good checkpoint. So instead of me being treated as a friend, as an expensive friend, probably I would compare myself to a journal, because they know I will document everything down and we can chat through emails after that. So more or less they pop in once a year and just give a yearly closure or a yearly opening to their lives, which I quite enjoy, right? But I feel guilty on it, honestly. So again, don't do this. We can just have coffee. But they want an official session, so by all means. Counselor recommends counselor decisions. So I'm closing down here for economic reasons. It depends. We can adjust, but what we're asking is for the first 6 sessions, we spread it for 3 months. Whether it's a marriage session, couple session, whether it's an individual session. This is for average. Now, an average for me, for the likes of me, an average case are the clinical ones. When I say anxiety disorders, OCD, these things cannot be handled. It cannot disappear in a month's time or even 3 months. So we pace ourselves slowly. We do everything step by step. We do it properly. We lay down the new bricks to your new attitudes properly. It will take some few months, but we can spread it out to twice a month or once a month. So closing down here, when you say counseling session, in the end, I want to make it clear that we follow the medical model where the practitioner recommends the clients have the ultimate decision. Of course, in our center, I always practice this one, that we will take the risk for you. We're not here to tell you it's up to you. It's up to you. If you ask me, I will give you the straight answer. I suggest you come here next week. I suggest you come twice a week. I suggest you come once a month. It's not too useful for you to come here. Sometimes I feel it's quite awkward when you come here and we have nothing to talk about. It doesn't bode well for the counselor as well. So all right, so that's my guideline, and I'll place it clearly on the chat. I realize my time is up. Super time is up. Yeah, it's good to see everyone once again. Expect more videos. If you have more frequently any questions, email us, and I'll try to answer in the context of the Singapore private sector, within the context of Grace Counseling Center. So God bless everyone. See you again.